Hey guys, and welcome. I'm Kate, and this is going to be a quick morning flow, really something that you could do at any point of the day, but something designed specifically for when you're feeling a little extra tight because you just rolled out of bed and you haven't really gotten the movement going in your body yet. So grab a blanket if you want it, or a towel, a couple of blocks if you feel they're necessary. Find a quiet spot. You don't even have to change out of your pajamas, and I'll see you in a few. All right, so we're gonna start in a Vajrasana, a thunderbolt pose. If it doesn't work for you, you can come back to your cross-legged, your Sukhasana, but I'm sitting up on a blanket, and we're gonna take that blanket between your heels here. We'll spin it to the side, and I'm just gonna sit. And as long as that feels okay, if you need more height underneath you, you can grab two blankets or a blanket and a block, something to get you a little bit higher. If this is really brutal on your knees and you're not into it, Sukhasana is perfectly fine. I'm gonna take a couple of moments here to try to relax, to feel your shoulders soften, the muscles in your cheeks and your jaw relax. Let your eyes slide closed. And breathe here. And as you breathe, feel where your sitting bones press into the blankets underneath you. And from that groundedness, feel your crown of your head stretch up toward the ceiling without bringing rigidity or any tension into your body. Feel the length of your spine rise up as the muscles around your spine start to soften once again, the sides of your neck and shoulders. Take a few breaths here to check in and see where you're at today. To bring yourself here on your mat for you. You're going to take another breath in. And when you exhale slowly, just drop your chin to your chest. You can start to move the tips of your shoulder blades toward each other on your back. Inhale, roll your right ear up over your right shoulder. And exhale, roll down through the middle. And inhale, roll up to the left. And exhale, roll down through center, chin to chest. One more time, you're going to roll up to the right. Give your head a gentle shake when you get there. Feel your right shoulder relax down and let your left shoulder lengthen away from your ear. You're going to take your right hand to the side of your head. If you want a little more juice, you can keep it on the floor if you want. You're going to start to use the weight of your hand to give more stretch through the side of your neck. And then take your left fingertips to the floor right outside your hip, and you're just gonna spider walk your fingertips away from you without shifting your weight, without leaning at all. Just gonna stay light through those left fingers, but walk them away. And breathe. Inhale. When you exhale, return everything back to the starting position. Then inhale, roll up to the other side. Oh. Same thing here. Relax your shoulders, give your head a little shake. And then you can bring your left hand to the side of your head, right above your ear. Give yourself a little more oomph through the stretch. And then bring your right fingertips to the mat. And maybe start to walk them away. And breathe. Inhale. And when you exhale, slowly release. You're gonna roll back down, chin to chest. On your next inhale, lift your head. Open your eyes and maybe take your gaze over your left shoulder. Bring your head through the middle and spin it over to the right. And you're gonna bring your head back through center and come forward into table just long enough so you can get rid of the blanket. We're gonna be on our knees, so if you feel like you wanna pad your knees with the blanket, you can unfold it and bring it there. And then you're gonna kind of march a little bit back and forth, stretching one leg out behind you and then the other. Then get the pops and the cracks out. Okay. From here, you're gonna come back into your table, tuck your toes under, start to walk your hands back toward your knees, shift your hips back onto your heels. And we're gonna hang out here. And as long as it's okay on your knees, on your ankles, and on your toes, you're gonna walk all the way up and sit here for a moment. If it's not okay, then stay on the floor with your hands out in front, keeping your weight where you want it to be most, which is probably not back here, right? Now take a breath. And then come back into your table, untuck your toes. And as long as, you're not afraid of making some noise, you can tap out your feet. And then you're gonna keep your toes untucked. You're gonna sit back on your heels. Take a second here. And you're gonna start to take your weight over to the left. Drop your left hand out to the side. Grab your right knee with your right hand and just peel your knee off the mat. This part of your foot that's still on the floor, you can anchor that down. If you're a runner, this little bit is a really good thing to do to keep your legs and your feet and your ankles and calves and all that good stuff kind of stretched out. Keep them mobile, right? You're gonna release that, shift your weight over to the right, grab a hold with that left hand, peel your left knee up. And again, you can take the part of your foot that's still on the mat and anchor it down a little bit. That's it. And then you're gonna drop that. And from here, you're gonna come all the way up. So you're standing up on your knees, and you can tuck your toes under, keep your feet flat, whatever works better for you. You just want your knees about stacked underneath your hips here. You're gonna take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, roll your shoulders up, and then draw them back. Slowly take them down away from your ears as you press your knuckles toward the floor between your calves. Lift your low belly in and up. You can start to feel your chest extend up toward the ceiling. I like to let my hips pop forward a bit so you can explore how that feels. At the same time, the tops of your thighs are gonna kind of brace. So the tops of your thighs start to activate a little bit. Take your gaze up. You can take it back behind you. Keep it straight forward. Inhale. And when you exhale, we're gonna release that. Bring your hands to your hips. So moving into Parigasana, I'm just gonna keep spinning. I'm gonna make you dizzy. Take your right leg straight out to the side. And of course, you're still facing the short end of your mat. This should hopefully be working for you here, right? Take your right hand to your right thigh, sweep your left arm up. Keep your tailbone lengthening down toward the floor as you stretch up, reach over to the right. Oh. Yeah. Inhale, come on back up using your core. Gonna float your left hand down to the floor and give yourself some room here so you can shift your weight so your shoulder comes over your wrist. Keeping your right foot on the mat for a second. Let's flatten the foot onto the floor and take your right arm up and over your ear. Let your tailbone stretch toward your right heel. And then come on back up, bring your right hand to your hip. Gaze down at the floor, that helps me balance. So it might help you too. You're gonna flex that right foot and then float your leg up and maybe roll some circles in your ankle here. Yeah, okay? And then set your leg back down onto the floor. And from here, gonna slowly come on up. So we're back on this left knee, and you're gonna open your right toe. So now we've got a little lungy thing here. Take your right forearm under the top of your shin. That's your thigh. I mean, I guess you can touch your shin. We're gonna lean to the right. Take your left arm, reach up and over. You can stay right here. If you're feeling like you want a little more juice in your legs, in your inner thigh, you can slide that right hand down to the floor. Feel this whole left side body start to open as you extend through your fingertips. Take a breath here. And then when you exhale, you're gonna take your hands back down to the floor. So we're back into table. So now we end up looking a little bit like this, right? You're gonna take your right leg, sweep it straight back behind you, and then float the leg up off the floor. Pull your low belly in, so you don't wanna hammock through the low back, but pull it up. Shift your weight to your right hand, take your left arm, reach it straight forward. Inhale, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee, round. Press into the floor with that right hand. One more. And squeeze. Then extend back. So your right leg is still out behind you. Take your left hand to the floor. You're gonna bend your right knee, press your heel up toward the ceiling. Just work a couple circles into that hip. Yep. Then the other direction. You got it. And stretch your right leg straight back behind you as you inhale. And when you exhale, you're gonna step it to the outside of your right hand, coming into lizard. Let your hips start to drop. You can stay up on your hands or lower down to your forearms or to a block. You want to keep your shoulders kind of pulling into your back as you stretch your chest forward. If you want to lift the back knee, you can always lift your back knee. It's entirely up to you. Now from here, you are going to tuck those back toes. If you haven't already lifted your back knee, you're going to lift just for this transition. Start to walk your hands to the left and pivot on your heels. So now we're in a nice Prasarita Padottanasana. Let your hips press back as you walk your hands forward. Shoulder distance apart. Spread your fingers just like you would downward facing dog. You're going to start to grip the floor. Hug your triceps in toward your ears so those elbow creases roll toward the ceiling. And just take a breath or two here. And walk your hands underneath you. We're going to spin back toward that right foot. So the toes spin toward the front of the mat. Drop your back knee. Inhale, lift. When you exhale, you're going to pull your hips back and work toward a little Ardha Hanuman. Rock forward, sink your hips. And you're going to step your left foot up to meet your right Uttanasana, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen out, shoulder blades in. Feel the muscles along your spine fire. Exhale and fold. Press into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. When you get to the top, you're going to drop your left hand right along the side of your body here. Lengthen up and stretch over to the left. Keep your tailbone lengthening. Inhale, come up through the middle, press your palms. Exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen out. And downward facing dog as you exhale, plant your hands. If you've got a blanket there, you can just step over it. Find your down dog. And same thing here like we were doing in our Prasarita, right? You're gonna spread your fingers, really work your claw hands into the floor. Roll those triceps in and pull your hips back. Maybe you want to sway a little bit side to side. Yeah. Okay, and then inhale, come on forward into your plank. And when you exhale, you're going to lower your knees and come up again. So we're balanced on those knees, toes flat or tucked. Take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers so the other pinky's on top. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest, let your knuckles drag down, almost like we were doing a Shalabhasana, right, on the floor. So you can imagine that you've got this nice flat plane here, but feel the opening through your collarbones, your chest. Inhale. And when you exhale, we're gonna release the hands, bring them to your hip, and this time you're gonna take your left leg and step it out. Parigasana, take your left hand to your thigh, sweep your right arm up, inhale. When you exhale, come out and reach over. Keep your tailbone lengthened. You can even think about this right thigh bone kind of lengthening out of the front of your hip. Yeah. Here we go. And then inhale slowly, come on back up. We're gonna take your right hand down, sail it to the mat, and then gonna glue your left foot. You gotta leave that alone, boo. Memphis is licking a cut on his foot. You're gonna put your left foot into the mat and sweep your arm up and over. So now we get a nice stretch through your side. Yeah, all right. And then take your left hand to your hip, shift forward a bit so you've got your shoulders stacked over your wrist, and we're gonna float that that left leg up. And maybe roll out your ankle a little bit. Wiggle your toes, just a little distraction. Then you're gonna set your foot down, Plant it into the mat, shift your weight so we come upright, and then spin those left toes toward the short end of your mat. Take your left forearm down. We're gonna get a little bit of a lean here as you take your right arm up and over. And breathe. If you want some more intensity, because who doesn't? My legs, maybe your legs too. Fingertips down to the inside of your left foot or on the block, if there's a block nearby. And I'm gonna bring your hands slowly down. So we're back into our funky table, right? Left foot kind of stepping out to the side like some weird spider. Take your left foot, you're gonna swing it back, lift it up. Low belly in. Keep your back from doing that hammock action here. Shift weight onto your left hand, take your right arm, reach it forward. Inhale, and when you exhale, elbow to knee, hug in, squeeze. Inhale, reach. Exhale and squeeze. And again, inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze. Find that extension. And then take your right hand to the mat, step your left hand to the outside of your left, or your left foot to the outside of your hand, and come into your lizard. Sink your hips. Nothing's ever perfect, right? Try to relax through your shoulders. Give your head a gentle shake. Breathe. Okay, if you've lowered yourself down, come back onto your hands. Tuck your back toes under. You're going to lift your right knee. And then one more time, we're going to walk through Prasarita Padottanasana. Outer edges of your feet glued down. If you want to block underneath your hands here, you can absolutely do that. You want to feel your weight move back toward your heels. Take your right hand down to the floor to the middle of the mat, right underneath your nose. Gonna lengthen your spine. Take your left hand to your low back. As you exhale, roll that left shoulder open. You can sweep that left arm up if you'd like. Ooh. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale, you're gonna fold, replace that right hand with the left. Inhale, lengthen. Right hand comes to your low back. And when you exhale, same thing to the other side. You're gonna roll your chest to the right. Try to keep your hips as square as you can. This left side hip is gonna wanna dip, right? Try to keep it lifted and let this twist come from your spine instead of your hips. You can sweep that right arm up, if that works for you. Inhale. And when you exhale, we're gonna let that go. Take a moment to walk your hands out, shoulder distance, spread your fingers, slide your hips back a little bit more. Let your head hang, shake it out. Bring your hands back underneath you. Gonna walk toward the top of the mat as you pivot. Drop your back knee. Inhale, lift your chest. And as you exhale, pull it back. We're gonna do a little Ardha Hanuman. Try to keep your hips as square as you can go here. Inhale, rock forward. Gonna lift your back knee, step your right foot up to meet your left. Uttanasana, fold at the top of your mat. Softening your knees if you need to, if it's still early for you, or if your hamstrings are just not feeling it. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Press the floor away. Come all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana, sweep those arms out, reach them up. You're gonna take your right hand down along the edge of your thigh there. Lengthen up through that left side as you root through your left foot. Take a lean over to the right. Inhale up through the middle. Exhale, dive right back down over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Muscles along your spine really working here. On your next exhale, soften your knees, plant your hands, and walk it back. Downward facing dog. And hold here for a breath or two. Take a full breath in. And when you exhale, lower your knees to the mat, slide your hips back to your heels. We're going to come into our final resting pose here, child's pose. So if you choose, if you want another version of this pose, or if you want to do something else to relax, you can absolutely do that. We're just going to settle in. You can grab a block for underneath your forehead. If you don't have one nearby, you can stack your fists or stack your hands. Take a few breaths here. Soften where you can, and as much as you can. And then wherever you are, you're going to take your arms outstretched in front of you. So we're in an extended child's pose here. Flip your palms toward the ceiling. You're going to take one hand in the other. So resting one hand in the palm of the other. Try to keep your neck, your shoulders soft, the weight of your head relaxed down. And we're going to take a moment here to offer some kindness to the world today. Maybe one act of kindness that we can do to a stranger or someone we know well. And this is not only a pose of giving, but a pose of receiving. So may you be available to receive kindness today. And slide your hands underneath you. Come on back up. We're going to end where we started in a Vajrasana. You can sit up on your heels. You can take a block or a blanket between, as we did when we started. Take a moment to close your eyes. One more time. Soften your shoulders. Bring your palms together to Anjali Mudra and bow your head. And honor this time on your mat today in the space that you carved out just for you, which is already an act of kindness. Thanks for practicing with me. I look forward to doing it again soon. As always, hit that subscribe button. It does my heart good. There are some more videos in the library. Check them out. You might see something else you like. Have a great day. Namaste.